All right. Yeah, I think it's 2 o'clock now, so we shall start our webinar. Yeah, thank you everyone for attending today's webinar. It's the surefire way to reach China cross-border e-consumer. So we have the honor of iPinYou and of course Tmall from Alibaba and Digital Crew to co-host this webinar. So today, this agenda, so mainly I will do the opening introduction. So after that, we're done by Stacy from Digital Crew. She'll talk about cross-border e-commerce in China and the effective way to market business on Tmall. Then second, followed by James. He'll talk about how to set up and run business on Tmall. And then lastly, by Hui Li from iPinYou, utilizing big data and programmatic advertising to drive sales conversion. So for me, actually, I am the managing director for APAC. I think taking care of the business development and the partnership in the APAC region. So this is our speaker, Hui Li. So Hui Li has been with iPinYou for more than 2 years. So over the year, she has provided customized consultation to various clients so as to aid them in their outreach effort to mainland Chinese consumer. Her clients have experienced exponential brand growth within the China market and garner valuable insight for both short-term tactical and long-term strategic planning. So our next speaker is James. He's the business development manager from Tmall Alibaba. So he joined from October 2006 and has been helping clients to develop their overall business strategy to China using various Alibaba platforms, including Tmall, Taobao, Alibaba, and Alipay. So currently in this current position, James working closely with local merchants in the health, pet, fashion category to adopt Alibaba great import strategy through various cross-border e-commerce platforms and build greater awareness for Australian brand in the Chinese market. Our next speaker is Stacy. She's our Chinese digital marketing strategy from Digital Crew. So with over 3 years of experience in social media and marketing, Stacy is an innovative digital marketing strategy, helping clients throughout APAC country. She has work experience to collaborate cross-functionally, grow client relationship, develop integrated campaigns, and concept and produce high quality delivery. So our speaker, Stacy, I'll pass over to her.
Okay, thanks, Andy. Thanks, everyone. Welcome to our webinar today. It's my great pleasure to share our experiences and some new idea about Chinese e-commerce here today. I'm Stacy, the Chinese digital marketing strategy from Digital Crew. We are a multicultural digital agency to help lots of our APAC clients to target China market in 7 years. Today, I'm going to talk about, as a foreign company, how to target Chinese cross-border e-commerce consumers via integrated digital marketing. Sorry. Andy, could you please do me a favor? I can't control the screen for the moment, actually. Yeah, okay. So with increasing digitalization, more and more people are shopping online across border, especially shoppers in China.
Stacey, you need to enlarge your screen.
Okay. How about now? Sorry, everyone.
Yes, okay. Now it's okay.
Here. Oh, okay. How about now?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, lots of people are shopping online across borders, especially for shoppers in China. So people know that China market is very big and there are huge potentials. But what exactly the market size of Chinese e-commerce? Well, according to our latest report, China's cross-border e-commerce market reached already 9 trillion RMB in total transaction value in 2019, over 20% of which are import e-commerce sales. It is so exciting news for foreign business as cross-border e-commerce, and it is an efficient way to get a slice of China retail market without actually setting up an offline store in the country. Such unprecedented change and growth reveal a great market opportunity in China. Well, the market continues its strong growth in 2020, actually. Look at this data from National Bureau of Statistics. We can see negative growth on all sectors during the COVID-19 outbreak. Only online sales, we saw a positive increase by 3% from January to February, and even within 6% growth from February to March. From bulk buying to online shopping, people in China are changing what they are buying, when, and how. All right, the online sales are increasing consistently. So how about Chinese online shoppers? Let's dig deep into insights about China's cross-border online shoppers. A majority of them are coming from the middle class. They are young and around 30 years old, and undoubtedly, the larger portion of them are females. And besides, most of them are highly educated with higher monthly income, and around 55% of them will purchase at least once per month. But have you ever thinking about why Chinese people like to purchase from cross-border e-commerce platforms? Here are some reasons we found from some research. They are pursuing high-quality products with higher quality price ratio, especially compared with some domestic brands in China. And they have more choices purchasing brands through cross-border e-commerce platforms as well. Last but not least, the big name brands always have great guarantee authenticity. And from my personal perspective, the most concern when I was shopping online in China before was whether the authentic products, especially for health and baby products like, let's say, baby formula. But to be honest, I don't have such concerns when I start to buy international brands on cross-border e-commerce platform, because most of the international brands provide authentic products with a completed return and refund policy. I think that's why Chinese shoppers are preferring to move to cross-border shopping now. And we can see the figure. The number of consumers is expected to reach almost 177 million by 2022. It is really amazing number here, right? Which means you have clearly a significant opportunity to do cross-border e-commerce business in China. This booming cross-border e-commerce business will supposedly double the transaction compared to the previous years. And here are some key reasons to boost the sector in China. For example, the expanding cross-border e-commerce zones, the growing number of e-commerce platforms in China, and of course, the improvement of logistics over the world. And specifically, in lots of e-commerce platforms in China now launch lots of diverse online shopping festivals. So, which these kind of activities drive online sales dramatically in the recent years. And talking about e-commerce channels in China. Okay, yeah. I think most people must have heard about Alibaba Group before, which was the most successful IPO in US stock market. For now, it is still the #1 general e-commerce platform in China, but it's more focused on domestic brands. In the right-hand picture, just showed the top 5 cross-border e-commerce platforms for international brands like Kaola.com, Tmall Global, JD Global, and Little Red Book. Actually, there are lots of e-commerce platforms with unique features in China now. Because of the limited time today, I will introduce 3 most popular cross-border e-commerce platforms here. We can see each of them offers different cooperation models for business with different needs. For example, Tmall Global specialized in selling well-established brands from international firms. And our business partner, James, will talk more about Tmall Global here today. And Kaola mainly cooperates with foreign brands to serve its customers directly. Little Red Book focused more on beauty, fashion, food brands, and out-of-the-day products. So it acts like a platform for people who can share and post their shopping tips and the testimonial of the products and their lifestyle stories. So it also developed e-commerce that provide users seamless shopping experience. And also KOL's own Little Red Book is also a new chic marketing strategy, and I will talk about more it later. So it's really important to plan your business model with professional suggestions, then choose the right platform to achieve the best business results. There are lots of new trends in Chinese e-commerce, and I will talk about some of them today. So as the #1 daily active app in China, I think WeChat already become a must-to-have channel for most foreign companies to communicate with their Chinese audience. Actually, lots of our clients just come to us and always ask for set up WeChat official account. And WeChat mini program is a new function introduced by Tencent since 2017. It can offer brands additional online platform to market and sell their products directly just within WeChat. Users can perform similar functions without having to download a separate app. And lots of international brands already developed their own mini program like KFC, McDonald's, and Gucci Extra. We also help lots of our current clients to develop mini program with different function before, like selling online tickets, food recipe, and online gaming. Many benefits from its light in capacity. It is good for brands to invest there for marketing, consumer engagement, and e-commerce. Next would be KOL and live streaming. It already became a bigger influence on consumer shopping behavior, and it will continue to play an increasingly important role in China market in the future. These pictures are examples we've worked with Australian local KOLs before, and the brand is a very popular Australian fashion brand. Our company launched digital campaigns on WeChat Moment ads. We invite KOLs and post articles on Little Red Book, and we also hire different KOLs for live streaming on their offline stores. This campaign was very successful, and we achieved more than around 300% ROI on their financial year sales, which is really incredible high conversion rate and excellent campaign result. Well, the market is big with huge potentials. So Chinese shoppers are pursuing high quality products and purchasing power of middle class is rising a lot. So it looks like a good time for foreign business and worth to try. However, is your business ready to go into a new market and reach Chinese consumers? China is a lucrative market which many companies would like to enter and sell the products and service to, but they are often put off by a range of real and perceived barriers. For example, from my personal perspective, people living in different areas in China have their different language and cultural background. Even people from like northern China cannot 100% understand the language and culture with people living in the south of China. Besides, you need to understand the red tape for Chinese corporate, like government regulation, policy, etc. So just to make sure you always meet their requirements before you go. Also, people spend a lot of their daily lives on social media in China. That's why digital marketing is becoming more and more important to target Chinese consumers and affect their purchasing behavior in multiple media channels. Also, with business cross the global using Facebook and Instagram to reach their new customers. However, digital landscape in China is more complicated than Western world, just like this picture showed. It's very hard to say each kind of app have it's very hard to describe what's the function of each platform actually, and it changed almost every week, and even every day. As a result, understanding Chinese digital landscape and choosing right channels are critical decisions to reach your target audience, especially for international business. For this purpose, how to promote your brand to Chinese shoppers by using integrated digital marketing. Let's start from talking about marketing funnel. I think most professional marketing specialists know it and are very familiar with it. First of all, we will focus more on digital marketing funnel today. Here is how it works. So we start to promote brand awareness by casting a broad net to capture as many leads as possible. And then we generate interest by releasing content on multi-social channels, slowly nurture prospective customers through the purchasing decision, narrowing down these candidates to drive sales finally. So for Chinese digital marketing, we have something new here, methods in each stage. For example, programmatic marketing allows advertisers to target users in specific contexts and results in efficient ads for higher impression. Our business partner, iPinYou, we cooperate together a couple of times before, and we deliver a high quality campaign result to our clients by using programmatic marketing ads. Hui Li will introduce more about it later. Also, platforms like WeChat, Weibo, and KOLs are good social channels to generate interest to our Chinese consumers. And even search and seasonal promotion are also significant to nurture leads and increase sales gradually. And there are lots of channels to launch your e-commerce business in China. Today, I will introduce two faster ways for foreign brands to reach Chinese e-commerce market. One is to open a flagship store on mature e-commerce marketplace like Tmall Global. It's better to build brand credibility and brand image in China market. Our business partner, James from Tmall Global, will provide more information about how to set up your business on the platform later. And another way is to sell the product via a affiliate network. It's time and cost efficient and can test the market and even the best seller products quickly. So no matter what what way you choose to reach the Chinese market. It's important to develop an integrated digital marketing solution before you're ready to go. You need to have a better understanding of Chinese media landscape first, then develop a digital marketing strategy and customize a media plan to choose a right platform. Then generate high quality content to improve brand awareness, nurture leads, and drive sales gradually. Just like we talked today, China is a complex market with marvelous market potentials. You need a good partner with rich local market experiences and media resources to lead your business to success. Digital Crew is a multi-award winning multicultural digital agency with offices in different cities over the world. Our capability extends from developing a Chinese marketing strategy and media content. We're undertaking media planning and buying and providing analytics report as well. With a deep understanding of Chinese media landscape, Digital Crew customizes content for media channels and respective audience to ensure your message is targeted. All right, here is my presentation today. We also have Q&A session in the end of today's webinar, so I will be there to answer your question as well. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you.
I will pass the,
thank you, Stacy, for the insightful presentation. So now, as mentioned, we have a Q&A. So feel free to enter your question. So we'll answer it at the end of the seminar. So right now we'll move to James. James, over to you. Okay.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, my name is James. I'm from Alibaba, Tmall Global in Australia and New Zealand. So I'm the BD manager here, helping people, enter China. So I'd just like to give you some sort of overview of how to successfully enter to the Chinese market using various Alibaba platforms. Alibaba was founded in year 1999 by Jack Ma and the 18 founders. So our business mission is always the same, even after 20 years. It is to make it easy to do business anywhere. So in order to accomplish that goal, we can sort of, do that using one solution or one platform. So over the years, we developed a systematic of different platforms that we call Alibaba ecosystem to help our clients to go to China, no matter where they wanted to go. So if you look at the top left-hand side, this is pretty much like the core commerce platform that we have on Alibaba, including Alibaba.com, which is the first e-commerce platform, biggest C2C platform, Taobao, Tmall Global, which I will cover a little bit further today. And other than that, Lazada go to Southeast Asia. This is actually the main event, the main stage that everything happens, where Singles Day, 618, all the different promotions, all the different marketplaces is in here. And in the middle, you can see that we have mobile digital entertainment platforms, including Youku, which is very similar to YouTube in China. We have a music, digital, Ali Picture, sports, all the different type of media sort of entertainment in the middle. On the right-hand side, Fliggy, Kobe, all this kind of, Fliggy is actually one of the largest travel agency, online travel agency in China, including Elmi food delivery system and food review system in this part of the service. So we call local services in our ecosystem. Underneath that, we have 4 main engines to power all the different commerce, entertainment, and services. The first one would be Alipay. This is the financial. This is the payment system that we have in Alibaba. China logistic network, helping us to send all the parcels, even from Australia, New Zealand to China. Alibaba, it is a BI, sort of business intelligence based sort of marketing engine with a strong team there, helping people to do marketing promotions, how they place marketing in Alibaba ecosystem in a very efficient way. And Alibaba Cloud, which is the hidden hero that underneath everything. So everything that was Alibaba running was powered and managed by Alibaba Cloud. Every second in single day we have probably tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands transactions per second. All this contribution was building on Alibaba Cloud. And I think today will be interesting to talk about cross-border e-commerce. It is one of the very fast-growing marketplace in China, growing year by year since 2014. The reason behind the e-commerce, the cross-border e-commerce is growing so quickly is because the Chinese, we have what we call the lifestyle sort of enhancement. So lifestyle upgrading as well. So people are starting to pay attention to quality products, entertainment, all this kind of lifestyle related product to actually to not only have better life, but also for entertainment as well, enjoy their sort of quality living. And this will be actually one of the two major platforms, what we call B2C platforms, tap into China. On the left-hand side is Tmall Global. On the right-hand side is Tmall, we call Tmall Classic. So what happens is Tmall Global, the main difference is the logistic sort of model is different. In Tmall Global, we're using what we call a cross-bundle warehouse sort of system to get into China. What you do is you put your product in bundle warehouse, and then when the product is actually sold, then you ship the product from the bundle warehouse to the Chinese customer. And for Tmall Classic, which is different, you can actually ship your product to anywhere in China, the warehouse that anywhere you want it. I think the major difference is also the regulations. Tmall Global, you don't need a lot of different licenses and regulations to get into the bundle warehouse. It saves a lot of time. Say, for example, health category, that the one I'm looking after, you want to go to China, the license, you have to apply license. It can take up to 2 or 3 years. But Tmall Global provides a very easy system, so you can just register your product with the custom, and you can probably start selling within the next few weeks. So that's a very quick way in the regulation wise. But Tmall Classic, if you have license regulation part, is no problem. You can use Tmall Classic. Other than that, Tmall Classic will be more like you're probably gonna have a company registration. You probably sometime will have your Wi-Fi ready in China. But Tmall Global, a lot of my clients actually they monitor the Tmall Global stores from overseas. So in a sort of typical sort of journey, first a few years, people in a global brand, they probably start from Tmall Global or even Taobao. When they build their sort of branding in China, people understand their branding, so they have their sort of GMV or sales volume sustainable to build their Wi-Fi in China. So they move to Tmall Classic, and then after that, when they have more success, they maybe move to offline China, offline, or even move to Lazada, Southeast Asia. We have over 15,000 international brands across the different countries. A lot of them are actually first time, even 80%, over 80% of the brands actually, they haven't been to China. They built from Tmall Global. So this has become one of the gateway to China. You actually start from here, you compete with all the global brands, and then you build your sort of branding awareness there. Once again, this is pretty much one of the, 3 of the main categories. We have different categories, hundreds of different categories on Tmall, but beauty, food, and modern baby, those are the 3 main categories that actually outperforming all the others. Because I think it's quite understandable. Beauty, international trends, different skincare, different makeup, different trends internationally. It's very popular in China. Food and grocery, in this part of business, food, of course, natural, because different food from Australia, New Zealand, very popular in China. Also, we have a higher sort of standard TGA for making health supplements. So that's also one of the key sort of areas of people choosing global brands. Modern Baby, of course, as well. Natural, Modern Baby, milk powder, all these kind of different say for example New Zealand, we have a lot of different farmers in New Zealand that produce high quality milk. So this is also very popular category. Stacey covered a little bit about demographic before. I think this is China, pretty much online. You just have to remember three things. One, female. Female is dominant, 70% female. And a lot of young people under 40 years old. And the way we see it, it's pretty much the dominant sort of demographic will be between 20 years old to around 40 years old. And from 30 years old to 40 years old, they have higher spending. They're pretty much working class. But under 30 years old, they're growing very quickly. So this is when you get on the Tmall Global. Actually, you are actually competing directly with all the international brands, major brands from everywhere. Say for example, Australia, New Zealand, Swiss, Chemist Warehouse, Nature's Way, Woolworths, A2, all these kind of different brands. They are actually performing extremely well, and they're competing in the global marketplace. TP, what we call Tmall Partner, TP is actually one of the very important aspects to actually to run your Tmall store. If you want to open a Tmall store, the first thing you're going to think about is how you're going to run TP. What does TP do? What does that mean? Actually, TP they do a few things. They actually look after your Tmall store. They handle all your transactions, customer inquiries, all the different orders, delivery question, all these kind of things. Other than that, two very important things that TP will do is, one is they have to make a successful promotions. They have to understand how to run promotions on Tmall, all the digital marketing, all this kind of thing. Also, on the other hand, they have to understand the intelligence behind the Tmall. They have to understand where the customers are, competitors are. Business intelligence is also very important. So it's very important to think about how to organize this. Normally, there's three ways. You can either, if you have internet experiences, if you understand China, you can probably create your own team. Otherwise, there's one is what we call a service type of TP. It means like they take commissions. They probably will have a team of roughly about 4 to 6 people, and then they look after your Tmall store. And you pay them a commission by, it can be by monthly base, it can be by annual sort of salaries. So that's one sort of model. The other one is the distribution TP. That means they handle all your China sort of even e-commerce or other other platform sort of businesses. You just use them as an agent, and then they handle everything for you. So I think the major difference between the commission-based TP and the agent-based TP is when you're paying commission, you take all the risk. You have to pay them salaries, you cover the inventory and everything. But at the same time, you have the full control of your Tmall store. You understand where it's going. It follows 100% your strategy. But the agent-based model, it will be risk-free. This is totally the opposite. It'll be risk-free. You don't have to worry about the inventory. They probably pay you before the product was sold, but at the same time, you lose control of your China business. Logistic part is also one thing you should consider. Most of the product we highly recommend to get into the bundle warehouse, and then but also we have a fulfillment center in Hong Kong. This is something that this is a center we use from Australia and Southeast Asia as well. So what are the difference between the bundle warehouse and fulfillment center is, if you want to go to the China bundle warehouse, your product will be very hard to go back or move outside of, if you get in and get out, it will be very hard to move out because it's going to take a long time, it's going to cost more. And the fulfillment center provides that flexibility. So when you start a Tmall store or China sort of e-commerce platform, fulfillment center, you might be closer to your region, and also you can get in the product, you can move your product there, and then if it's not working, if it's changing, you can also always move the product back to your own country. Other than that, you can use consolidated shipping, direct mail, all this kind of model. Can we support that sort of model? But it's not recommended. At least, you know, don't use too many of your products using those models, because it can take longer. The customer sort of experience will be lower, especially through, you know, big campaigns like Singles Day. Marketing part. In the marketing part, I'm not going to talk too much about from my side, because we covered pretty much mostly by Digital Crew and other. And so it's basically, you know, the logic behind using marketing is actually you can using all the different Alibaba platform to expose your brand, and then it doesn't have to convert in that platform. It can convert in other platforms, for example, Taobao or Tmall. So have a full digital plan sort of ready in place. That's very important, as Stacy just mentioned earlier. To open a Tmall store, it's pretty simple, straightforward. Just remember 3 things. One thing, you will need an Alipay account, so you have to apply that, you know, for Alipay. The second thing is we require a lot of registration or, you know, document in order to, you know, get that your store opened, including, say, for example, if you're the brand owner and you authorize a TP to open a store, you will need that authorization in letter for that TP. If you don't own the brand, you might need the authorization from the brand to authorize you to open that store. All this kind of documents, you have to have that ready in place in order to open that Tmall store. And other than that, it's just logistic. Once 3 things ready, everything is ready, you can start, you open your Tmall store. Roughly, a time frame will be like 3 to 4 weeks, but then it can cause delays. So what sort of delay is sometimes, you know, the Alipay is not ready, the registration is not ready. So when you when that's missing, when that's not in the picture, you should expect some sort of delays. So I think that's pretty much everything from my side. And thank you very much.
Thank you, James. So right now we have moved to Hui Li, iPinYou.
All right, hi everyone. So thank you, James, as well as Stacy, for sharing. I think Stacy has given us a very good overview of the whole e-commerce ecosystem in China, as well as some of the media landscape. And of course, you know, James has gone into details on how to set up a store on Tmall. So I would say my portion comes in as a link on how we can actually bring people from all the various, you know, media China media to the Tmall store itself. So what I'm going to cover today is about utilizing big data and programmatic advertising to drive sales conversions. So I guess that's very important after you set up a store on Tmall. So allow me to introduce you a bit about iPinYou. So iPinYou, we have been in the market for 12 years. I would say we are the pioneer when it comes to advertising technology platform. So myself as well as Andy, we are based in Singapore. We are part of the APEC HQ. And beyond us, we do have office in Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, as well as Hong Kong, London, as well as Seattle. So behind us, we do have a huge team doing a lot of artificial intelligence so as to drive you know, sales and conversion across various industries. All right, so when it comes to iPinYou, of course, you know, when it comes to advertising technology, we do offer a huge spectrum of services and solutions. So coming from here, there's actually the Alpha Data, which is the data management platform. So we are able to assist clients in setting up their DMP channel, as well as CMP, content management platform. But because of today's focus, we are going to spend a bit more time when it comes to the ad delivery portion, which is more towards the Alpha desk. So that's all the way on the right. So it's a one-stop intelligent media management platform. Right. So across a good 12 years, I would say that we have actually supported multiple brands in reaching out to the mainland Chinese consumers. So I believe no matter where you are based right now, you are probably familiar with a lot of the brands here, MNCs, you know, FMCG companies, hospitality, and so on. So of course, then, you know, today we are going to focus a bit more onto the FMCG e-commerce clients. So moving on to the next segment, which is more towards the leveraging of the data on how we can actually use the data from Tmall to improve your programmatic advertising strategy. So how it works is that these are some pain points that we have always hear from some of the clients that we work with. So of course, Tmall has a very powerful and very successful ecosystem. Sorry, what happened? How do I? No, I lost control. Andy, are you able to help me to move?
Try again.
It doesn't work. Can you help me to go back to the previous 2 slides?
This one, yeah.
Perfect, thank you. Yeah, so like what James has described, I think Tmall is, I would say, is a pretty comprehensive ecosystem as a whole. And with so many shopping festivals happening in China, there are actually a lot of competition when it comes to advertising within the e-commerce sites itself. So sometimes your clients come to us and say, hey, we are unable to get the desirable ad spaces that we want in Tmall. So what can we do? So that's one of the pain points that we often face. Another thing is that when it comes to the media traffic per se, I do have clients who actually make purchases on multiple medias like say WeChat, Weibo, and so on. And it's going to be very hard for them to manage because all of them comes with their own measuring matrix. And beyond the e-commerce store itself, the third point is that a lot of my clients that I work with, they are very concerned and they are also very curious what are their consumers actually doing beyond that e-commerce system. Are they actually individuals who are interested in a certain activity, say maybe in the certain like sports, or are they into luxury products? All these are actually very powerful and interesting insights that a lot of the advertisers are very keen to find out, because all this will also allow them to drive strategies to promote their products and services. And of course, with all this in mind, the fourth pain point is that when it comes to evaluating the performance, especially after you spend a lot of money on driving traffic, sometimes it can be very difficult to actually analyze who are the ones contributing to the conversion and where did they see the advertisement from. Is it from a specific media? Is it from a social media site? Is it from the PC? Whether is it from the mobile? So these are some common pain points that I would say a lot of our clients actually face. Okay, so if I'm going to actually summarize it into the 3 challenges, I would say over here, challenge 1 is to actually determine the profile of the current customers as well as their media consumption habits. So how iPinYou comes in the picture is that we do have our data management platform that allows us to actually be able to analyze who are the customers who have been making purchases on your Tmall store. Do they have a particular interest? What's their demographic in terms of their age, their gender, their income level? And of course, challenge 2, with intense competition inside e-commerce site, how can brands reach target audience in a cost-effective way? Because that's very important to advertisers. So the great news is that we do not focus on specific media. In fact, one thing that we always speak about is that iPinYou, we have access to a good, more than 96% of the media inventory. So that allow us a lot of inventories for you to advertise. You don't have to worry about not having enough inventories to reach out to your desired audiences. And the challenge 3 is that, when it comes to how do we actually then improve the campaign results outside the e-commerce system using Tmall data. And that is something that I will go into details later on. Okay, and of course, when it comes to e-commerce platforms, there are plenty in China. And the good news is that we are actually a certified service vendor with Tmall. And when we talk about this, is that if you are not aware, for Tmall Data Bank, we do need to have certifications to be able to run it. So within our company itself, we have a good, a huge team that actually has attained all these certifications to show that they are capable and they are very well versed with the Tmall system. All right, and this is, it might look a bit complicated here, but let me just dissect it for you. So how it goes is that the green portion on the bottom, that's something that I will not go into details because that happens within the Tmall ecosystem itself. And what I'll focus is actually the top portion. So when it comes to iPinYou, we have our data management platform where we are able to actually come up with multiple audience packages. And with this, we are able to match it with data bank to actually generate insights of all these customers, whether they have actually made certain purchases within the Tmall store, and what kind of purchases do they make, what kind of product range are they interested in. And with that, we are able to then churn out different strategies based on the insights that we have gathered. So that will assist us in doing the ad serving portion. And of course, you could see number 3 over here, we do have different audience packages. That will allow us to determine at the end, which are the packages, which audiences are the ones that are really interested in your product. You can see also on the right-hand side that there's the PDB, PD, and RTB. So if you are a marketer, you are probably very familiar with all this. So these are actually different ways to buy inventories. They have the programmatic direct buy, preferred deal, as well as real-time bidding. So depending on the kind of inventories that you want, we have different ways of supporting of buying them. And of course, it does not end after you serve the advertisement. We also want to look into optimization. So there's to and fro, there's a lot of data feedback between the data bank as well as iPinYou system. And with all this, our optimizer team will actually optimize it. And at the end of the campaign, that is where we provide you with the analysis for like who are the ones who are really interested, and that will probably come in very handy when you plan the next campaign. All right. So early on, when Stacy shared about the funnel, so this is something probably very closely related to that as well. So you can see that there's an AIPL, awareness, interest, purchase, and as well as loyalty. So of course, awareness, this is very important. They must get to understand that your brand exists. So of course, when it comes to awareness, we have different touch points as well. They have the OTV, they have the video newsfeed, welcome banner, and we leverage on our own iPinYou big data to actually identify who are the right audiences that we should push the advertisements to. And of course, these are some strategies are also listed here. We can do UV retargeting, reach OTV VIP users. Next is the interest. So once they are aware, we need to make sure that they are interested in the product. So touch points can be, the news feed, display, and from there we could actually have the impression data to ensure that we are actually reaching out to more people. And of course, the strategy, these are just some examples, tailored ads or dynamic creatives. Moving on would be the purchase. So that's the exciting part, that's the conversion. So how do we actually encourage conversion is through the various touch points as well, like the combination of video, news, as well as tool apps. And of course, from it, we are able to gather click data, and strategies that we often use to include retargeting, A/B testing, as well as inside Tmall retargeting. So inside Tmall retargeting will happen within Tmall ecosystem itself that is handled by Tmall. But it doesn't end there. Even though we managed to get people to convert, we want to also look into building the customer loyalty. So some touch points also include like what under purchase is, combination of video, news, as well as tool apps. And with the data, we could actually tap on the first-party CRM data as well as Alibaba data bank. And strategy that we often use includes the audience portrait as well as lookalike. Right. So of course, before you even launch any campaign at all, we are also very mindful that it's necessary to do testing. So you can see that there's this AIPL, awareness, interest, purchase, loyalty. So we do a matching to ensure that the kind of audiences that we have within the iPinYou system are customers who are actually already making certain purchases, who are already interested in your products within the Tmall store. So after doing the matching, we are able to narrow down, who are the ones that are under the awareness level, who are the ones who are already interested, who are the ones who have already, converted, and those who are the ones has the potential to be loyal customer. And with all this data in mind, of course, then we need to have different touch points, and that is through our ad buying efforts, be it via PDB, PD, or RTB. All right, so of course, mid-campaign is exciting as well. It does not stop after you launch a campaign. Other than the target audience that we managed to churn out from the data bank, we also look into prospect more. And of course, we are also mindful to actually keep track of those who click onto the advertisement, those who visited the Tmall site, as well as those who are already currently converted. And of course, to make it exciting for everyone who are actually probably interested customers, we actually use different kind of creatives as well. So you could see that we can push creatives based on different creatives based on the weather condition, the time and the day, or even the search data, or even to have some countdown elements as well, say maybe 2 more days and the sales will end. So we have different creatives to spice up things for the advertiser. Okay, and of course, during the campaign itself, we on our side, we come up with different strategies. So that really depends on the kind of product that you are selling. And it usually covers various from audience, media, as well as creative. So with all these strategies in place, we are always looking into optimizing towards better performance. And that is where we are able to upload all this data onto Tmall data bank and do a matching to see which are the strategies that are working and which are the strategies that we should omit. Of course, that is a very realistic point of view because, of course, not all strategies are going to work all the time. Okay, and moving on, let me share with you a bit about the media coverage and our data capability. So, of course, we know that it's a huge internet population in China, and to be honest, when it comes to 96% of the online Chinese media that we have access to, I think that is quite sizable. And we are talking about a good 1.5 billion UV every 30 days, and it covers a good 75% of the mainland Chinese population. And with every individual mainland Chinese, there's a good around 15 labels attached to them. So that is how much you know about every individual within the mainland Chinese in the country itself. And of course, one thing that we always get as well in terms of question is that how accurate are all your DMP data in terms of your audience label. So in terms of label accuracy, it has been verified by a few sources, be it Tencent, Tmall, as well as AMAP Big Data. So sharing a bit about the iPinYou data. So when it comes to iPinYou, we have a good 6,000 plus audience labels, and you'll be interested to know like who are we working with. So we are actually gathering a lot of data from the operator, say for example, China Mobile, China Unicom, China Telecom. We have a data partnership with Baidu as well in terms of the search behavior, search data of the mainland Chinese. We do have the media campaign data as well as location data provided by Alibaba. Then together with Tmall data, because earlier on James mentioned about Super ID. So together with Super ID, we are able to actually draw a customer portrait. So what are the audiences, what media do they use, how do they convert, and where are they physically. Okay, so if I'm going to sum up, of course, when it comes to Tmall, when it comes to advertising on Tmall, a lot of advertisers are very fixated on the Tmall ecosystem itself. So you can see that there's a Tmall marketing platform as well as media within the e-commerce ecosystem. But what we are offering to the table from iPinYou end is that we are actually providing you more opportunities to reach out to your desired audiences. So this is at the ad serving level, and we are using multiple different ways of reaching out to them. Okay, and to sum it up, the value of how Tmall and iPinYou actually, the way we work together is that at the data portion, we are able to have a better understanding of what are the consumers doing inside and outside the Tmall store itself. The traffic, we are able to actually gather a huge amount of traffic to allow multiple touch points to your desired audiences. And of course, campaign itself, then, we can actually collect the campaign data so that you could actually plan better and analyze the data better. And of course, the product itself, then, sometimes through our efforts, the clients also have better understanding which are the product that is actually more attractive, or which are the products that require further adjustments or repackaging before running out to the market again. So just to quickly run through with you in terms of the case study. So 618 is a very popular mid-year shopping festival. So this is actually a campaign that we handled recently. So this is actually a milk product. targeting male audiences between 18 to 30 years old. So previously they were very affiliated to just advertise within hero apps only. So these are some examples of hero apps. And of course, we coming into the picture, we are actually bringing to the table even more opportunities to reach out to the other media, as well as we also open up the option of reaching out to the females as well, because the females actually do buy products for the male audiences, and this is through leveraging on our digital advertising audience taxonomy labels. And this is actually what I've mentioned earlier on how it works. So we could generate insights, we could leverage on our data to formulate strategies, and of course to actually provide a comprehensive advertising solution, both inside as well as outside. And with that, I would say that in terms of campaign results, it's pretty impressive. So in 18 days, we are looking at a very good high conversion rate of a good 80% increase. And that's all from me. I'm happy to take any questions. Back to you, Andy.
Thank you, Fei Li. So right now we have a few, I think we got a couple of questions. Yeah. So yeah, everyone feel free to type in on the question and answer there. So the question is for Stacy. Yeah, so it say, hi Stacy, you mentioned baby formula before. In your opinion, how strong will the sales of cross-border baby formula will continue over the year? I've heard that there has been a boost within China on local brand. So why would consumers still prefer to pay a premium for overseas brand? Stacy?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, like I mentioned in this webinar before, so Chinese parents are very clear about the product quality, especially for their babies. And secondly, the huge population in China based with higher birth rate than Western countries. That's the very huge demand from Chinese, especially for baby food. And I think the safety concern of baby food is still very important, and is still very serious things in China now, because there is some formula scandals before. So parents in China are very care about their baby's food. So I still think baby formula still have a very high demand, especially for international high quality brands. So that's why it still has the huge marketing potentials for baby products, especially for cross-border e-commerce platforms.
Yep, thank you, Stacy. Yeah, I mean, I do agree with Stacy. I mean, for me, actually, I have 2 kids, so I don't mind to pay like a higher, more premium for meal formula, yeah, especially for the kids. So right now we have the second question. For startup company product with little brand awareness, what would you recommend we start to enter China? I think this question is for James Tmall. James?
Hi, thank you, Andy. Yeah, we actually, Alibaba, we actually helped a lot of small, medium brands to go to China. And then I think the journey is quite similar and quite identical. So a lot of people, even new brand, new company, they wanted to go to China straight away. So I had quite a few brands actually just manufacturing, or even they haven't started selling in the local country. They wanted to go to China. They want to have their China plan lined up. So I think that strategy that can be risky. It can be really sort of you can spend a lot of time to figure out really what the market really wants. But say for example, I think in Australia, one of the very successful brand called Swiss. Before they go to China, they was sort of dominant in Australian marketplace. There's a very strong sort of demand in the local market. And there's also a very strong demand in the local market for the Chinese audiences. A lot of people, they buy from Australia, New Zealand, they ship it back to China. So I think that local awareness is one of the part that I will definitely recommend to start with, to build your brand locally. Say for example, I know there's a few sort of platforms evaluate all the different brands in Japan. And then when that sort of when that sort of platform saying that, okay, this is a good brand, and then they have different ranking. When you hit to that kind of ranking, Chinese audience will start to understand and they start buying from Japan. So all this kind of thing, I think it's one of the very, easy and a good foundation for you to get into China, build your awareness in the local channel. There's a lot of channels, say for example, Australia, New Zealand, they have bigger impact in the Chinese market. So for example, in Australia, we have Chemist Warehouse. In New Zealand, we have Unicam. All these kind of different, mainstream channels will actually help you to build your China awarenesses. If you see Chinese people buying, if you see your product getting more popular and hitting that sort of unique segment, you can probably think about moving to China.
Okay, thank you, James. Yeah. So I think because of time constraint, we actually answered the last question. I think this question is for James as well. So it's difficult to know which Tmall partner to approach. There's a long list and no way to differentiate between them. So what do you suggest to make it easier and faster to engage a TP?
I think, yeah, for TP, I think it is confusing, lots of different TPs. I think there's a few things to consider. I think the first thing is the team. There's a different, we have TP company, they have a few hundred people. We have TP company, they are, 50 people. So you don't know which team or which sort of level of experience that actually your TP will assign that sort of member for your brand. So the team member is very important. You have to sort of really to get to know each one of them to see if they have experiences, their thinking, their know-how is sort of providing to something similar to what you have in mind. And the second thing is to run the promotion in marketing or all this kind of thing on Tmall, you have to understand there's two things that's very important. One is you have to understand how to run promotions, single day. Chemist Warehouse did over 100 million in one day. So in order to plan something like that, you have to, plan way, a few months ahead and then to execute it right. So you have to understand, you can ask all different questions about how you run promotions, how you prepare that, how you work with Tmall, how to make that successful and what is your demonstration cases. So that's the second thing I think about promotions. I think the third thing that I would strongly recommend will be the digital, business intelligence sort of skills. You have to understand, what exposure rate, what sort of pricing, you're changing pricing, you're changing promotion. You have to understand what is the outcome, what is the impact from any of the strategy that you're moving. So you have to understand your customer, competition, everything. So we have a very strong back engine, but you also need a very strong TP to analysis that to provide meaningful data. So I think that's the three key points I will suggest.
Thank you, James. Yeah. So okay, I think due to time constraint, we need to end here. But anyway, our email is there. So we apologize that we cannot answer all your questions. But just feel free to email like Hui Li, Stacy, and James. We actually definitely answer you back. Okay, I think thanks everyone for this webinar, especially to Hui Li, Stacy, and James, and thanks for all the participants.